OCD. Just want to be really clear that it's just me here right now. Sean is late to the shoot. So it's just me. And no one else is really here, actually, to be honest with you. The girls aren't here. Dogs are quiet. So I'm just kind of hanging out. Hair up, hair down. Preferences. I tend to like it up. I'm sure I'm blurry right now too, because I don't have anyone to focus on, really. What do you guys think about the sweater? Well, not really sure what to do. Wish there was someone here to talk to. Cujo, 9. Okay, dudes, we're on.
Are we on?
On like Donkey Kong.
Is this thing on?
It's good to finally see you.
Okay. Hi, everybody. It's weird to be back. It's a little anticlimactic after like the 100th episode. There was so much like oomph and so much excitement and pizzazz, and I want to make sure we don't like...
Just want to ask you what time it is right now.
It's 10 to 7. What's that for?
Oh, nothing. Just a little something, but we had a little
What?
moment.
What kind of moment did you...
You'll
With
see
this
it.
sarcastic, passive-aggressive stuff? What was this all about?
Sarcastic, passive-aggressive.
We just get a smidge, a little taste, a flavor, a hint.
We had a moment.
Yeah?
Before you showed up. Just a little moment.
What were you guys, were there bets going on about how late I'd be?
No, there were no bets because I can't talk to them, but we were just chatting. Let's just say we were chatting in the dark. Just me and the camera.
Sounds like a good 70s record, chatting in the dark with Boss Gags. Sometimes it's nice to be mean to people, and
I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just
sometimes it's nice to be mean and get it all out. You've had like a hard day or a hard week, and you just need a place to like just filter it out. Just send some stuff out. I'll be the receptacle.
Okay.
Just lay it on me.
Cool.
I'm ready.
Angry.
I can tell. I'm ready to receive.
Really angry.
I'm ready to receive. And apparently while I was gone, there was a heck of a lot of like talk. Some might say backstabbing.
Oh,
Some might say like throwing the boss under the bus.
Oh, no. There was no boss bussing.
Sure.
Sure.
There was a whole lot of like this stuff that like that
We were chatting in the dark. I was sitting here like yelling at Cujo with them, and like we were just like, I was like, Sean will be here any morning. Don't worry.
Yeah, Sean was getting you like a sweet treat, and anyways, we'll get to the bottom of this.
9.
Don't you guys just worry your pretty little heads. Anyways,
all right.
Enough about this weird tension thing going on. Okay, so 100th episode was so kick-ass. It was so awesome. Like it all came together really nicely. Britt and Shelby and Henri, they went crazy and built the faux cake, right?
The cake of a lifetime.
The cake of a lifetime. No, a cake.
A classic cake. No, timeless.
A cake for the ages.
Oh, cake for the ages.
Wasn't that it?
I thought just timeless.
I thought it was cake. I thought it was a cake for the ages. Oh. A little more poncy. But we were looking at cakes, like literally, guys. Here's what we do. Like in between training dogs, we went and we had Shelby. She was on the horn constantly looking for pop-up, as they call them, pop-up cakes to be delivered. And all the companies that deliver them, they're all out because apparently it's like a stripper fest, something like, who knows? I don't know what's going on. Maybe there's like a stripper convention. And so all the pop-up cakes are gone. There was one place that were like, we can get you a pop-up cake. It's $1,200 delivered. Geez. And we were like, are you freaking kidding us?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather like literally stack a dozen donuts and just like jump. Well, I wouldn't jump out of them, but like maybe I'll jump
kinda, like,
on them.
dive
Maybe I'd
through
belly flop on them or something like that. I don't know, but not for $1,200. So, anyways, 100th episode. Everybody seemed to really like it. Your montage was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
That was such a special, cool
It
thing
was
to
totally
like
special.
go back and see like the very slow arc from like ghetto, 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 less ghetto, less ghetto. All right, we're moving out of ghetto and into some nicer stuff, and then it just keeps getting better and better and better. And you guys, heroes for hanging with us through the ghetto, and cheering us on even when we're like in a plane, you know, doing it like you can barely hear us, or in like Jeff's stinky RV, or in a car somewhere else, you know.
Did
like
I get the RV on there? I can't remember.
I think you did. I think there's some RV
wow.
stuff,
That's fun.
and there's also the corpse room, I like to call it, which is
Oh
like
gosh, that one was brutal.
the coloring in there. Literally, like we might as well have just like stepped out of like, I don't know where you put the corpses in like the cold room, but it looks like we just stepped out of there and like.
And I was.
Hey everybody, it's Sean from the corpse room, and like, and it was the lighting was terrible.
I was
right?
sick as a dog that day too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So anyways, that montage was super badass, and I really appreciate you. I know it took you so long to go through, sift through all that stuff.
It was totally worth it.
Yeah. Super awesome. My favorite scene, to be honest, like one of my all-time favorite clips, and it's in there, but you don't get to see the whole thing, but just the lines that are delivered still go down as probably one of my favorite openings ever. And that's when you have the hat over your head, you have it pulled down over your face, the tan one, and you're saying, and I was like something about like Laura's being held hostage at the Good Dog. And they're like, you still have it, or you're like, this is true. Or something like, just the lines delivered really well. She's being held hostage at the Good Dog.
That is true.
And it was just like, she's still covered up, and it was awesome. So that's one of my favorite lines. Anyways, okay, 100th episode's in the bag. Now we move on to 200, and apparently I've got to like jump out of a cake like topless or naked next time for the 200th episode. So
We have a few to go though till we get there.
that means I got a lot of time to like either chicken out, move countries, or get in shape.
Shop.
Or bikini shop, get in shape and get it together and eschew all the donuts and stuff. Anyways, so we got this NOLA ECollar workshop coming up. Give me some dates.
I don't have dates, but here's the website. I couldn't, if I tell you dates, they'll be wrong. So here's the website.
Don't
and
you
they'll
love
have
that? I just know that we're one of the few like organizations that like don't have like our dates like in our mental like Rolodex for it.
No,
We're just like,
because
I know they're
there's
there.
There's too many numbers. If I said, I think it's 24 and 25 of September, and then I think it's 1st and 2nd of October, but that's probably wrong.
Because I'm moving on the 26th, so 24th, 25th.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is the website. You guys can check that out. It just went up.
You know
check
what's
that
also
out.
funny is when we say like, and it's linked up here, and then there's nothing linked up. Have you noticed that?
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
How
yeah.
often?
A couple times. I was just watching, I think, in the last episode, and we're like, linked up here. And
I watch it like 5 times. There's no
it's so
possible
easy.
way.
It's so easy to miss, though, because
No.
you're thinking about a lot of stuff.
No, because that's one of the big things I look for. You gotta tell me when those things.
Well, I just like the show's already out. It's already done. I'm surprised we don't get like little like hate mail like, hey, there was no like no link ups.
There's just a lot of link ups, so maybe it just like doesn't render or something.
I watch the Gary Vee show, and they miss that stuff all the time too. And they're trying.
It's hard if it's quick. Because you'll just be hearing it and you're like, oh, I'm sure I did it there. And
Right. So anyways, so the NOLA workshop's coming up. Once again, guys, a chance to work hands-on with me and, I was going to say yours truly, but actually yours truly, and the lovely Laura Morgan. And we've been getting lots of reviews as we posted up this last little Facebook and Instagram post on this workshop. And the reviews or testimonials or comments were like really, really special. People made some gigantic strides with their dogs, both trainers and owners. And I'm not just saying that to be like, I'm saying it to be like, yeah, that's really super awesome. And we're super excited for all those people. And when people leave the workshop, you never know.
No.
You know what I mean? You don't know. You're like, God,
they
I
might
hope
say
they got good
something,
stuff,
right.
you know? You're always hoping they got good stuff, but then you see these things, you know, these comments, and they're like, man, I went home and I trained 3 dogs, and I managed to fix things I couldn't fix before, and like, man, it's just the
Super
best,
exciting,
right?
yeah.
So if you want to come join us in NOLA, obviously there's a mutual benefit there. You hang with us, you learn from us. We're going to teach you everything in a very intimate, safe, fun, supportive environment, and then you can head out to NOLA. Don't do that. Don't be sleepy. You can head out to NOLA, and you can, well, you'll be in NOLA, but you can head out to the more like adventurous parts of NOLA, and you can have yourself a good time, which always, you know, just make sure you can make it back the next morning, right? No stumbling down bourbon at like 4. Anyways, so that's that. We've got Miss Cambry coming in. What day? She come tomorrow?
I don't know why you asked me this stuff.
You're like our organizational queen.
Doesn't mean I know dates. I know she comes this weekend. So Cambry she's a trainer who actually came to an ECollar workshop.
She's coming this year though, right?
Yeah, she came. Yeah, she's definitely coming this year. She came to an ECollar workshop, and she's someone that she's followed us, and we've kept in contact with her, and she's an awesome trainer in her own right. And we really want her to come on board The Good Dog and be a trainer for us down in New Orleans, because she's just awesome.
She's got good stuff.
Yeah, and she's down, surprisingly, which is really cool. You never know.
Yeah, and for like not to cast aspersions against NOLA peeps, but a lot of NOLA peeps are very easygoing, right? They're very chill out, like when it comes to business or work. We'll get there, we'll get that, we'll get to that when we get to that. Cambry's like on top of it. She's busting out. She's a NOLA native, but yet she's still got the fire, right? And
she's had a dog walking company now for 10 years. She's just a badass. So she's
and she knows how to handle like she's not afraid of handling tough dogs, and she's got firm energy, which is interesting because we're going to get into a question. The first question actually gets into some of that stuff, which will be an interesting thing to talk about. But she's got some some strong stuff. So
she's a badass. So we'll be seeing her. Maybe she can make an appearance on Q&A.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't think about that. And we'll see how strong she is when she We'll see how strong she is when she actually has to sleep on the air mattress out here with all the dogs and everybody around, right? So we're all out of beds at the Good Dog Ranch. Got her sheets? Cool. We got sheets, but she'll be roughing it. Anyways, that's Cambry. She's awesome. You'll meet her soon. Something else that we wanted to talk about super quick is that obviously we do this to create answers and share information and help you guys problem solve and work through your dog stuff. We do that in a lot of different contexts, and I answer comments and questions on Instagram and Facebook and blah, blah, blah. But if you need deeper, more detailed, more involved help, whether it's with specific dog training issues, whether it's with business building, with your own business, right? I don't know why you'd be trying to build somebody else's business. And whether it's business building or even if it's techie stuff, right? Which is like going to be more in her department, which is going to be like editing videos, shooting videos, camera gear, lighting, apps. How do we create like the graphics? How do we do, I mean, all the stuff that you see like in our media world is largely created by this girl. So we offer phone consults for anybody that wants to go deeper with us on any of those levels in any of those different kinds of specific elements, or you could even mix and match and do, several of those things. You could do business training and some techie stuff and fold it all into one call. Thing is, you can get me for, what is it, 150 bucks?
150, yep.
You can get both of us for a
200.
screaming, it's crazy, Sean's screaming, everything's gotta go. 200 bucks for a phone consult. And to be perfectly frank, getting us both on the horn is a kind of special thing because as you've seen here in Q&A, we have a really nice kind of balance as far as perspective and talents and skill sets. And so if we're talking about training, I know a lot of people think that like I'm like the big trainer guy, but like there's a lot of good information from her about training. She's incredible with like logistics and organizational principles, even if she doesn't know dates. Organizational principles around like building like lifestyle stuff at home that can help people be successful with their dogs.
Yeah.
And also just straight talk and helping you through tough stuff.
It's really fun. Phone consults are really, really fun. They're just like, we kind of go down the line, we really create a structure and a plan for you. And it's for people that, you know, a lot of them have done our DVD, a lot of them have watched Q&A a lot, and they're needing to like kind of tie in everything.
Put the pieces together.
Yeah, so that is like something, if you guys are struggling, or if like you can't get your question answered, and we don't do that on purpose, we really just like, we can't get all these questions answered, and we also have to pick questions that are a little more universal so people can really learn from them.
Yeah.
So if you're not getting your question answered and you want something faster, we can typically get you in within a couple days on a phone consult. So sort of fun.
Super personalized.
Skype,
super personalized, and we're happy to dive into whatever ails you or whatever you want to work on.
Yeah.
And we've had a lot of folks do really well with Skype sessions with us. So just want to let you guys know about that. You can email us. Do we link that up? How do we do that?
Sure. Hope it links.
Well, make sure this one's there, all right? Okay, so phone consults if you need help with any of that stuff. Or like, honestly, guys, I didn't even add this, but like if there's personal development stuff or anything you're stuck with, like any mental blocks like that you think we can help you with, lay it on us.
Just another perspective.
We're happy to help and see if we can kind of guide you through. So, excuse me, the last little point before we jump in is the T3 overhaul.
Oh, yes.
Want to wrap with them at all about like what's cooking with that?
So T3 is doing a big overhaul. We're, you know, Tori Smith has been joining us for a while now, and we're kind of going to bring her on for reals this time. I mean, she's been for reals, but this time it's like...
She's for reals.
Yeah, she's going to get her own section. So she's going to be doing most of like the hands-on work with everyone. We're doing, that'll free us up.
Hands-on insofar, just let me clarify for everybody, hands-on as far as like the real kind of like nuts and bolts mechanics of like, this is how you teach. Who's making that sound? Nuts and bolts of how you do every exercise and build the exercise and go from start to finish in a very kind of comprehensive, very supportive kind of, she's a really great teacher.
Yeah,
she's
awesome.
super patient, and you won't feel as intimidated like working with her as you will with Jeff if he's like, come on, get that dog on, please.
She's more thorough,
just
I
kidding.
think, than any of us. So that's kind of the big benefit, is she's really thorough, she's really detail-oriented, and she'll leave no stone unturned. So a lot of the stuff that we're actually going to be adding a couple hours to each day. So the day is going to end at like 6:30, 7 o'clock. And so it's going to give us more time to get into personal growth work, but also more triage with the dogs, working more dogs like hands-on. Some dogs come in and they're too tough for the students to work with. Yeah. And we have such little, we want to put the emphasis on everyone getting hands-on. So sometimes working with the tougher dogs gets put to the side. So instead we're like, okay, if dogs come in that are tough, we're all going to get to work with them. You know, us four, I'm sorry, with Tori. And then the hands-on part won't suffer because we're adding on time at the end of the day. Yeah. And to make sense of it all, it's like, we're going to be there with the hands-on with Tori, but she's going to be doing the majority of it, so we're not
We'll be drinking Mai Tais and daiquiris and such, but we'll be there in spirit.
We're not going to be so burnt out, I think is my point. So.
Yeah. Not to go too far into this, but boy, it's a really exciting thing. Me and you sat down in New Orleans. We were talking about T3 overhaul. Yeah. We were talking about parts of it that felt like could be better, that maybe felt, I don't want to say stale, but that just had been, kind of like a little bit in a static kind of space. Yeah. And so we really sat down, we put our heads together. It was a really interesting night because we were like, we got to find out how to make this more fun for us, more enjoyable, but also how do we do that and then make it far more valuable for the people attending. Yeah. And so adding more hours, because like honestly, who's gonna bitch and complain about extra hours if you're like flying across or driving 8 hours or whatever it is? You may not get to go to seminars like this, like, oh, didn't move the camera, watch out. You may not get to go to seminars like this, but maybe once. So our goal is to make sure that if this is one of the few seminars you go to, we try and lay it all on you. And so there's, just real quick, the big concepts here is to try within 7 days, get all of these basic nuts and bolts of how to do all the basic mechanics of these exercises, make sure that we create a really fantastic arc of personal development where we really hold people accountable and move people from one spot all the way up to here by the end of those 7 days, and do the same thing with all of the different business components and modules to make sure that they're all getting like due time and getting to go in depth, and then also like individual, more hands-on personally. And I don't mean hands-on training, I mean hands-on like working through problems with personal development, working through problems with business. I'm stuck with this, I don't know what to do about this. So for us, it's a really exciting new journey because we're getting to go deeper with the stuff that I think that is kind of our special stuff. And then you're also walking away with all of the same great training stuff. And you're getting to see like me and Jeff work with like tough dogs, and showing you like, not that you need to be doing that right away, but showing you what you, planting the seeds, if you will, for when
future
right, so you can see like, oh wow, that's what you do with a resource guarding dog in a heavier space, or a dog that's coming up the leash or something like that. And I think that's an important thing to see, even if you're not ready for it, because when the seed's planted and you've seen it before, when your skill set finally comes to that place, then you can kind of move into that spot.
Like clicks.
Yeah, so cool. So I think that's it. I think it's might be time to jump into the showy show.
Let's do it. Go for it.
I'm always nervous now because I seem to be like slipping on my like my mojo with the show. I always like do the nails prematurely.
Don't you worry about it. It's no big deal.
Yeah, it's okay. Either way.
No big deal.
They all love and support me either way.
Of course.
Flaws and all.
Flaws and all.
Okay. Flies and all. All right. Hey everybody, it's Sean from The Good Dog, and this to my left, yep, she is to my left, just making sure, is the lovely Laura Morgan. And this coffee, this pad, Cujo who's whining somewhere, and actually not a lot of other stuff going on, is The Good Dog's Q&A Saturday episode. This is an easy one, 101. Woo! Look at that, I just jumped in and like, I just like took the bull by the horns.
Awesome. It's because of the palindrome.
It's because of the what?
It was a palindrome, so it's easy for you.
A what?
A palindrome?
What's that?
That's the right word, right?
I don't know what that means. Sorry guys, I didn't go to college, so.
I didn't learn that in college.
Okay.
Yeah, palindrome. A word, phrase, or number, other sequence of characters which reads the same forwards or backwards.
What?
Palindrome.
Oh.
101, 101.
Okay, but here's where we could have messed up, right? So I just learned something that was very valuable. It's called a palindrome.
Palindrome, yeah.
That's a complex thing. So, well, not for you because you're so fancy, college grad fancy.
I learned that in like 3rd grade.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what I was doing. I was probably chasing like grilled cheese sandwiches or something. You know, I got in a lot of trouble for like tormenting girls when I was in junior high. I was like, that was a bad kid. So anyways, I think we're ready to jump in.
Cool.
Do you want to show any nails? You got anything?
Nothing's new, I don't think.
Is it still cranberry?
Just still that cranberry.
Just still that cranberry. Okay.
All
And
right.
I got new shoes, but I didn't break out the fancies.
Wow.
Nah, I think I'm going to ease you guys into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but they are fancy. I strolled into that shop and I was like, oh no, you didn't. Like, I didn't even finish the story about Air Force Ones. Real quick, just let me like wrap this up real quick.
Real quick.
The thing that I said was, I can't wear any other shoes, but the thing is with Air Force Ones, they're always making brand new versions of them. So that's what makes it super exciting.
What is this?
I don't know. What is it?
Oh, I am in trouble.
Let the guilt begin.
Oh my gosh, what is this?
Let the guilt. Let the guilt.
Oh my gosh.
Let the guilt.
Shelby's night off. You can see her. She's wearing her slippers.
I know.
She's
Watch
doing
out for
work.
Junior, because Junior will like he'll take her right out. So
Oh my god.
the wrapping paper that I got. Here's a real sad story.
I feel horrible.
Yeah, the wrapping paper I picked up.
I'm busting him for being late.
The wrapping, right? Good guy, right? The wrapping paper I picked up was silver until you unspooled it, and then it was clear. And I was like, are you effing kidding me?
Wait.
This is wrapping.
Oh. Oh, I see. Yeah, it was like silver.
It looked silver, and I was like, ooh, silver's nice and plain.
Such a man's right.
Right? So it was kill or be killed, right? Here's the story.
Shelby's like, I'm
No. I'm late. I'm trying to make all sorts of stuff happen to get this done, right? The wrapping paper isn't right. I've got no Scotch tape. And you can clearly see what the gift is because the wrapping paper is see-through.
Well,
so I'm effed. So I had to put it in a trash bag. So.
Just to be clear.
Yeah.
I was not busting the balls.
We call this in the industry backtracking. Backtracking. Everybody, you done that dance? I think I saw it on Soul Train back in the 70s. Backtracking.
Do you remember Soul Train?
Shelby's like, Soul Train? Shelby, you don't remember Soul Train?
I don't think her mom was alive. Can I
Guys,
open it?
yeah. Did you open the card?
No, should I? You literally put it in a trash bag.
I did because I didn't want you to. Oh, it's just a blue picture.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I can't believe you did this. I'm seriously gonna cry. Oh, thank you.
From guilt to tears. Well executed. Well executed.
You were so smug. I knew there was something.
Be really careful as you open it.
Oh my god.
That's all I say.
I'm not very good at presents. Like, what did I...
And you're not very good at being like gentle with opening either. So, and that's Gorilla Tape, so it's hard. I know it's not easy.
The girls were just bothering me because I keep breaking the door. And I was like, it breaks all the time. They're like, no, it doesn't.
It breaks with you.
Oh my.
Soul Train, Shelby. We'll have to maybe. Can we fly in a little clip of Soul Train?
I don't know what Soul Train is. Sorry. Sorry to burst your bubble.
There's a lot of bubbles bursted out there. So we'll fly in a little something with Soul Train.
I just picture people like doing like the train that they do at weddings.
No. The biggest stars in soul music all went on Soul Train.
Oh,
and
Otis Redding?
Otis probably did. I mean, it was more of a 70s.
Oh my God.
Careful, don't you rip anything.
Is it?
I know I made it like pretty brutal, but.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm pregnant. Mom.
I'm pregnant. You have to open it all the way up?
Oh my gosh, it's so great. I love this picture.
Can you see it really well?
Yeah.
Look at the colors.
I love it. Thank you so much. It's really sweet, Sean. I really appreciate it.
It's one of my favorite shots of you.
Yeah.
And Cujo by your side. And the bridge here. And this is the Mississippi River for anybody who doesn't know. And this is the bridge that takes you over to Crescent Park where we would walk dogs and take dogs. And she stepped up there and it was just like, this is all real, right?
Yeah,
this is all real. This isn't like Photoshop. This is all real. And it just was one of those kind of magical pictures. So,
I really feel bad. It's really great.
I had to pick it up today and like race around town to get it. So just so you know.
You weren't that late. It was just I really appreciate it. Thanks, girls. Shelby said it.
But you're welcome.
I'll take credit. Oh, that's really nice. That's really nice. I really appreciate that. Thank you so
I think it's a special shot of you guys. And I think it's really awesome the way it's like
And he looks so blown up. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
They did
yeah.
such a good job.
I did a little special treatment to the
you
colors.
did?
And
Yeah, it looks so good. Because his collar's like the brightest.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice.
I did a little magic, make it pop.
So funny because I looked at this picture. Did you see the picture I posted of Hercules today? I posted a picture of Hercules because I was looking at my Instagram account and it was all me and Cujo. And I was like, oh, Hercules.
I was like, can I superimpose Hercules there? But
I actually did see this picture again this morning, like at 5 in the morning, and I was like, oh my god, I love that shot so much. I just always love it. And it meant so much because it was Christmas Day.
yeah.
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 It was Christmas Day in New Orleans.
Contemplating the future.
Yep, exactly. New beginnings.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well, now I feel like shit. And now my makeup's gone. So
On with the show. On with the show.
you were so smug. I knew there was something. I swear. That's why I was confused too. Is because
When you get old, you get wily.
But just to be clear,
Oh.
no, that's why I was confused. Is I was like, I don't have attitude. There's got to be something. He's like, was I late to something that he like filmed? Anyway, I wasn't being that was so nice. Do I have makeup all over my face?
No, you look fine. You look great. You ready to roll?
Born ready.
Okay. This might be an interesting show. Let's see how we do. Let's see how we hang, guys.
Okay, guys. So we have question number 1.
And do you know where this one's at?
Yeah,
This
it's the
Megan?
one you put on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I want you to help out with this one too.
Okay, cool. So question number 1.
Yeah.
Thanks for bearing with us, guys. I have another question. I seem to have a soft energy, so when I'm working with the dogs, especially pushy, bratty dogs, they tend to take advantage of my softness, especially the doodles. They end up driving me crazy
Damn doodles.
because they're so pushy with me. Do you have any advice for me to help me try to change my energy so I don't come off so soft? Thanks in advance.
Good question.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Start this baby up.
yeah, really honest question too. And, we talk a lot about like fundamental energy here.
Yeah.
And,
We talk about it with the owners. We talk about it with us, just as trainers. And all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
And one of the first things that I always do, and I think all of us do, when clients come in and they sit across from us on the couch and we see the dog, the first things that we typically do, we don't say it, but we're judging like
Assessing.
who's firmer, stronger,
Yeah.
more assertive out of the pair or out of the human couple and the dog.
Yeah.
Is the dog up here and the human's down here, or is it closer to this, or is it more like this? And if it's way out of whack, we know we got a hell of a lot of work to do. So anyways, it's definitely something that we look at. I'd say as a crew, it's definitely something we're also very aware of, like who's got what,
Yeah.
right? So we know here, like, who's got firmer energy. We know who, and we use that to our advantage too. So we know that, like, if I'm walking a reactive dog, I might put you with a reactive dog because he might try and push you a little bit more, and we'll see, does he push against softer female energy?
Yep.
Does he push against, Brit or Henri? Henri has a really kind of like firm kind of thing going on, even though she's like one of the smallest ones here. So like the energy isn't dependent upon like size
The way
or
you
anything
look
like
or-
that.
No.
So anyways, good question. I know
And it can shift.
yeah,
That's
absolutely.
another thing is like a good example is there was this GSD that came in who's a firm guy, he's a firm dog, and his owner was soft. Like she came in and a couple, and she was really soft and just kind of had this soft thing.
Talking about George?
Brody. And we were like, can you put the muzzle on him? And she was trying to get the muzzle on him, and we're like, no, you need to get it on and like be more firm about it, because he was like pawing it off. And she stood up, and she'd worked with horses, I think, before or something. But she stood up and just like embodied this different thing while she was like putting the muzzle on it, and we were like, whoa.
Yeah, she's got some stuff.
Yeah, we're like, that's what it is. But the rest of her, kind of her default was just a little bit softer. Both of them were a little bit softer.
Yeah.
And she just occupied this new space that we're like, whew, you got to harness that for him. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's a tough guy. He's a guy.
Yeah,
with some
and
stuff.
so sometimes it's just about permission. Sometimes it's about being around people that say like, we need you to step into this, and
Yeah.
we believe you can step into
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
right? So like Laura said, it can like, I believe that everybody has a certain kind of like default place that they
Yeah.
kind of like emanate from,
Yeah.
but it can definitely be tweaked and improved. I know that when I started off with my guys, dog ownership wise, I certainly wasn't like the most assertive or
Right.
like, you know, firmest energy guy around. I've really worked hard to cultivate being able to step into that place.
Yeah.
You've changed dramatically from when I first met you doing like, you know, sessions with Polar Bear,
yeah.
where you were completely disempowered
Yeah.
and didn't know what you were doing. And he was absolutely up here and you were down here, you know, and
Probably
I,
still at the end, even.
but it had
Shifted,
changed,
yeah,
right?
adjusted, but
so
even
but
still.
he's an interesting case, and this is good for you to hear.
Yeah.
Like Laura doing all the work and using all the tools, like she had been here, she probably got to here, but it was still a challenge because that dog was firm as all get out
Yeah.
up here. And so if you have a dog that's way firmer than you, it is a major challenge
Especially
to
if they have behavior
turn that
problems.
around.
Yeah.
Especially.
So,
yeah.
no, but just to be clear, like Cujo's way firmer than me, but he doesn't have behavior issues.
Right,
So
right,
there's
right,
like,
right.
it's fine.
Right,
Like it works
right.
out, but he's way, way firmer. We see that too with dogs with owners where there's a much firmer
Right.
thing going on from the dog, but the dog's just like barking at the door.
Right. So here's something really important that I want to get into. So there's a lot of talk about, and you know, you guys have seen TV shows where it's like you need to cultivate, manifest like calm, assertive energy, right? And I kind of have a fundamental problem with that. And I definitely believe that you can set an intention and a goal and start working towards it, but I don't think that you can pull it out of the ether. And I've talked about this before, I've posted about this before. What I think and what I truly believe helps people become more assertive is success. And what I think creates success are using tools, training, and approach, and a strategy, and maybe even a team that backs you up, that helps you step into a place where you get results. When you get results, guess what happens?
Yeah.
You start to feel more confident.
Yeah.
You start to feel more, when you have that success, you start to feel more assertive. You're more of like, I can make this happen, I can make this happen. But as long as you're struggling, how are you going to access assertiveness? Because you know that your goose is cooked.
Yeah.
You know your dog's getting the better of you. So I'm a firm believer in that success and results helps breed assertiveness and firmer energy. Now, you may ceiling out, you know, compared to like maybe your husband or your Uncle Jim, who just like literally walks into a room and dogs are all like,
Ooh,
you know, I
never
mean,
mind.
some people, and even females, some people just
yeah.
have a thing, you
Yeah.
know, and it's like boom.
Yeah.
So anyways, I think it's really important. Your question was like, how do I get it better? I would say use tools, ECollar, prong collar, anything that empowers you. Really, really dive into training techniques and approaches that are built to empower you to get the results that you want.
Yep.
And then constantly work on that and constantly have the intention of that I'm going to work towards this space of more assertiveness, but you also have to be aware of all of your body conversations, right? So there's a lot of habits. It's really easy, like I watch the girls around here when they're doing stuff, and sometimes I have to remind them because they're having a good time, and I love that they're having a good time. But if they're working with any dogs that are dodgy, I have to be like, guys, we got to kind of have to shift gears a
Right.
little bit, because we can be in a
Careful.
space of being like, hey, so what's going on? And
Yeah.
like, if you're working with a dog that's in a not good space, that light energy can be an invitation for excitement, elevation, escalation, bite, whatever.
Yeah.
So your job is to be able to be a human that can switch gears, like boom,
Right.
on the dial, on the, what do you call
fly?
it? On the fly, maybe something like that, on the fly dial. And so for me, I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah.
Like I can be like joking with you, and like a dog does something, and the next second I can like boom, switch those gears. But that's just something you just got to work on, like any other skill set, whether it's volleyball or, you know,
I liken it to like
whatever.
confidence too, or like self-esteem. A lot of people are like, how do I build self-esteem, you know? And self-esteem like really comes from doing
Accomplishment.
things, that you say you're gonna do. So accomplishing things or whatever. So
Good point.
to me,
Yeah.
like if I'm out with my guys and I've got my e-collar on them, and they see a dog and they're sort of like, can I go up? And I call them both, and you know, they perfect recall, come right back to me and right at my side and walk away. I'm like, man, like this dog Cujo's pretty firm, but damn, I feel good right now. You know?
Yeah,
There's definitely something that you can own, and I think that like Sean always talks about, that like success and seeing that things actually work and having the tools to allow those things to happen. That's really where that stronger energy does come
breeds
from.
that ability to get into more assertiveness and confidence and firmness and all that. So hopefully that helps. Don't try and manifest it out of thin air, because it's pretty much a losing proposition.
Yeah.
So anyways, hopefully that helps.
Yeah.
Megan. And Megan didn't even put this in the Q&A. I just pulled it from somewhere else because it's such an important question.
But yeah, it's a great question.
Penalty, 10 yards, illegal question. Sorry.
No, and I don't think I've heard it before.
That's why I wanted it in there.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Yeah,
cool, guys.
Cool.
Okay, thanks. Question number 2 comes from Renny. Renny says, hey, my wife told me about you. We have 2 dogs, a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. So they both had basic obedience, and they're really good dogs. Jack is the Cane Corso.
I don't know if you're laughing at the Cane Corso or my loud noise.
No, I'm laughing at the Cane Corso.
Okay,
Did you
good.
make a loud noise?
I didn't swish, but it went.
Oh no.
So
the swish is the weird thing. Okay, but maybe it's just me. Maybe no one else cares.
they don't.
Oh, okay. All right.
They
so
love me the way I am.
I like you the way you are.
Well, mostly.
So Samson is a boxer and Jack is a Cane Corso. Jack's about 90 pounds. Jack is a super cuddler. He loves attention and will take it from anyone almost. The major problem,
Anytime I hear super cuddler, I always get worried.
especially when it's 90 pounds. Our major problem right now is that Jack does not like little kids. He gets very defensive around them and begins to bark and has even lunged at them. Never bit anyone, thank God, but it's scary and dangerous. The trainer we used to have for basic obedience told him to keep him behind a gate and not put him in a room when kids come. It's actually a great thing to say. She says, good for him to see the kids and get used to them and all the sounds they make.
Except that there's not structure with it.
No,
it's just behind the gates where they can
the safety of putting
at least they're
him
not
away
getting
is awesome.
chomped. Yeah.
I've been doing it for some time now, and I keep both of the dogs locked up as to not make him more anxious. Every time the kids come, right away I have them talking to Jack and give him treats. It seems to be helping, but then once in a while they get too close to the gate and he freaks out. Holy crap moly, stop! Please don't do this anymore. You're giving me a heart attack. We've looked into a lot of different trainers. This isn't against you, Renny. I'm just like, it's like reading a scary novel.
That you read every week.
We read all the freaking time, yeah. Where we can leave the, so we've looked into lots of trainers where we can leave the dog. We've read mixed reviews, so it makes us nervous to leave our dogs. Yeah, that's hard. Any advice or tips would be so greatly appreciated. We love our dogs so much and just want to have peace of mind when our nieces and nephews come over. Thank you for everything you do. Okay, this is a good one.
Yeah.
Whew. Did give me a little heart murmur though.
Yeah. I mean,
and not that, I mean, honestly, the advice you got and what you're doing is like, if you Google this, it's across the board all over, so it makes perfect sense that you'd be doing it. It's not like it's like, oh my gosh, you did something wrong. I just know what that can create. We've seen the not great stories. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
We've seen the stories where actually the gate has gotten knocked down or the dog has gotten.
Because it creates barrier frustration, guys, and creates like, yes, they're separated, but you create all of this stuff, right? And that's not good stuff.
And the kids talking and doing that sort of stuff, and they're probably just like having a ball. Like, hey, sure, let's do the dog. Let's talk to the dog and let's feed him treats and it's just literally amping the dog up more and more and more and more, and then they get too close and it's got that whole thing.
Yeah.
So here's what we need to do. Okay, cool. So I totally understand that I totally get that leaving your dog with someplace where you're getting mixed reviews is hard. But my thought on this is that you guys need a professional to overhaul this, and a balance trainer professional. So if you're watching this and you want to get a reference from someone that we trust and you're in an area that maybe we can help you in, please email me. The Good Dog, or Sean at thegooddog.net is the best place to check. So that would be my highest suggestion, that you get someone great to work with you guys,
Yeah.
because my feeling is there's a lot more kind of going on than just getting him trained up. I think there's some relationship stuff and maybe some way that your guys are dealing with him. I think you said he's 2 or 4.
I can't remember.
Then that's kind of prime time for things to start getting not so great.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack's 2. So, like, not to scare you, but this is the tip of the iceberg with this. Things can start to escalate and escalate if they're not addressed right. So if you can get a great trainer, awesome, ask us. But if not, you need to do a full ECollar program with this dog. I know we're broken records, but honestly, with this dog, you cannot be doing like prong collar work or like pressure and release with a slip lead or something like that.
No.
You need an ECollar on this big lug. If he's awesome in every other context, awesome, but he needs to know that you run the show, and he needs to feel more comfortable in his own skin everywhere. And when the kids come over, he needs to be in place in a different room, or I don't even want to say in the same room as the kids right now, because that's way down the line, and that would be like something like high stuff. But he needs to be either in place or in a crate, not even paying attention to them. And that does not come from desensitization with treats and them talking. It comes so much more from you letting him know that looking sideways at the kids is a no go. That's like $1 million
Barking at the
speeding
kids,
ticket.
growling at the kids.
Growling, getting up off place when they come in. Anything that's nervous needs to be met with a no, correction, and put back into his place, back tied or put behind the gate or something like that. But he needs major structure. And what happens is you can't just put the major structure in when the kids come over. You have to practice it everywhere else. That's why we say a major overhaul. He needs to be on the walk on an ECollar, doing structured heel. This all, because you said your wife sent you, so maybe none of this makes sense, but I'll tie it up at the end. You need structured heel on the walk. You need to practice place command, and he needs to practice duration place command during the day, even when he wants to be doing other stuff. He needs to be laying down when you ask him to. He needs to be not barking. He needs to be
He needs to recall every single time you call him.
Get your butt over here. And this isn't to be a mean guy, but this is to get him in a, okay,
listening.
I listen, I'm tuned in to you, I don't need to worry about them. Because he's worried about them. That's the reality. He's worried about the kids. It's why he's lunging at them. So we need to get him in a place of like, I'm not worried because I can't be worried. Like literally my life is very nice and safe and controlled by my owner. Not controlled like he's a little soldier, but just like I listen to them. And they're not going to put me in harm's way. They're not going to make these kids come up to me and talk. They're not going to feed me stuff when I'm already nervous. So instead, I just chill. But it's a big undertaking. And so usually I would say our free videos. With you, I would say you need to purchase our ECollar DVD. It's got a full overhaul in there. If you want to get fancy, you can get the prong collar DVD as well. Both of those right there create our board and train program. They're literally like, there's a PDF that goes with both of them. One's 60 pages and one's 90 pages. And they're built to create a full prong and ECollar board and train. So if you have no one in your area and you're like, I don't trust any of these people, I don't want to drop my dog off, then you need to become a dog trainer and use our DVDs to do it. You can use our free videos you just said you're in the market for a trainer, so I assume maybe you're looking to invest a little bit of money. If you can't find a professional trainer to work with you hands-on, do our DVDs over our free videos, because it's way more in depth and we'll give you all the whole stuff. Know what I mean? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I think like just kind of building off of what Laura's saying is like the whole concept here with the structure and the training and the accountability and the reliability and getting your dog to where your dog is listening 100% and super compliant. The goal of this, and you probably heard us talk about this a million times, think about it this way: we're trying to override impulsive behavior, right? Whether that impulsive behavior is nervous, insecure, fearful, aggressive, protective, whatever it is, doesn't matter. Listen to us. Don't listen to what you're worried about. Don't listen to what you're upset about. Don't listen to what you're excited about. And what Laura really describes is how you create that process, right? So heavy duty structure, whether it's through a trainer or you're doing it yourself. It needs to be sit, down, place, recall, thresholds, e-collar, heel. You need an e-collar. You cannot do this stuff by just leash and prong, like she said. The dog needs to know that you can actually interact, communicate, and correct from a distance. So psychologically, he starts to let go of that stuff, even if he's beyond the baby gate or whatever. Like, to me, like, I would like forget the baby gate. I would either, like Laura said, like crate that dog until he's in a great space, or dogs in place, back tied, and kids are not allowed to go, back tied safely. Kids are not allowed to go anywhere near him. Any kind of behavior, I mean, I would build that slowly. I would make sure he's like rocking and rolling before I do that. But like the whole concept, guys, I want to try and really simplify this. I know we're over time, but I want you guys to get into a space of thinking about taking your household back, taking the leadership back, taking the dynamic of power. And this is like a real hard one for some people, and I feel really iffy about it, but I'm just going to talk turkey with you guys. Take back the power of your household. It's like your kids have taken over your house and are now saying like, we're going out when we're going out, and I don't care what you say, and I'm going to like rob the 7-Eleven and steal the car at night, and like, they're doing it in the dog world. They're doing the dog fashion. Your job is to say, screw that stuff. This is your job. Your job, go lay down in place. Do this, sit when I tell you, down when I tell you, place when I tell you, come when I call you, and don't F around, right? Like, you start creating that context of like, they're not my cuddlers, they're not my babies, they're not my dogs that like, we're just like having a goofy good time with, and they're not just freely roaming, but they're dogs that are going to listen to me at the highest level. And guess what'll happen? Stress, anxiety that causes all this weirdness around kids and stuff will start to dissipate and dissipate, especially if you correct it for staring, getting uncomfortable, anything like that.
And you look over that's worried, any of that stuff.
It's a cumulative approach, guys. You don't spot reduce, as Laura says. You don't want to just like the idea of like being behind the baby gates, thank God it's safe, but like trying to create a relationship through treats and positive association.
Behind the gate and actually just correcting him for looking at you need to do the full thing so that he understands what the collar means. You can't just correct when the kids are around. You can't just randomly like, oh, well, this is our trouble spot. It just doesn't work.
Just know that when we've got dogs like that, that's the last thing we would do. Is like, oh, we've got a kid issue. Let's put him behind a baby gate and let's bring a kid over and see how he does. That's the worst way. Why? Because you got the least amount of leverage. Leverage comes from all of these different behaviors that you've created, accountability that you've created, reliability that you've created, and relationship, and even power structure, creating a social structure in your house of I run the rules, I create the rules, I lay down the law, and getting your dog into that space. That's how you get dogs to be safe and get them out of that zone. So hopefully that makes sense, whether it's you hiring a pro or you doing it yourself. A lot of work ahead. A pro that really knows what they're doing could make your life so much easier and help you move so much more quickly through the process.
You got a Ferrari of a dog. So you got to get the best mechanic in town. Honestly, I'm not trying to be funny. Like, you got a Cane Corso. You didn't get a Labradoodle. You know? You got a boxer mix and you got a Cane Corso. They're two very strong breeds, and you've been lucky so far with like some good stuff. But you got to invest, some time, money, energy into making this right. And I know you are, but definitely let us know.
But it's a good analogy. I mean, like, you get strong breeds like that, you have a responsibility that's higher than if you have a golden doodle. That's just the way it is, right? There's no like letting you off the hook with that. That's your dog. You picked that dog. However it came into your life, you accepted that. Now you have to accept the extra responsibility of getting him into a good space.
Which I'm sure you are.
So awesome. And we're not being hard on you.
No.
But we are trying to give you the straight scoop.
You're like, oh man, like all this work he has to do. And I'm like, oh yeah, he's got a really powerful dog. You've got to. If we're talking about like a Chihuahua, we might be like, get a little sleepy.
When I got Oakley, I was in the same spot. I had a 90-pound pitty that was dog aggressive. Like, I made the choice. I had to find my way through it, and like it was hard compared to like another dog that might be an easy cupcake dog. So anyways, we belaboring this point, but let's...
Just part of me would just love to have like a golden retriever. Just take it to the park.
Right? And just be like, go have fun. Right? And you get the one aggressive golden retriever and you're like... no, because I hate golden retrievers.
Not golden retriever, but like a
cupcake?
You hate golden retrievers?
Sorry. Did that just come out? You'll have to edit that out.
I love golden retrievers.
Well, okay, let me be honest.
Oh my God.
There are golden retrievers.
So sweet.
No, there are golden retrievers that I like, but I don't like just like nutty, ill-behaved golden retrievers that
bad
think like
golden
I'm just a
retrievers are
golden
like-
retriever, so like I kind of run the world, you know? Like sweet, easy golden retrievers. Yeah.
Remember the Iron Lady? She was sweet.
No, she wasn't. The Iron Lady didn't get her title as Iron Lady because she was sweet. She got it because she was
But once
hurricane.
she was
And
better.
please bleep, like I want you to bleep anytime I'm cursing.
I'm trying. I can't catch them all.
But I know Facebook's going to catch up with us, and eventually we're going to get penalized.
Oh,
for-
really?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. So
Because-
just try to keep it on the low,
Yeah.
then, would you?
Sorry.
All right. Question number 3.
Those retrievers, though.
That's 2. All right.
Just kidding.
Question number, what is it? 3?
Number 3.
Comes from Jenna.
I'm sweating on this one.
Really? My 6-month-old Texas Healer, so she's got all these breeds in it. Maple is very demanding, pushy, and eager to please. We started with all positive.
Hang on a second. Can you say that again?
Uh-oh, that's funny. Maple is very demanding, pushy, and eager to please.
What a nice little sandwich of behavior.
I'm
that
fit, healthy, and obsessed with donuts.
Right? I love a good cheeseburger right after my jog.
All right, so we started on all positive, and she's taken very well to training. They started phasing out treats because she's too food motivated. I'm
Yeah.
trying to like brush through
Yeah,
this
yeah,
a
it's a
little bit
long one.
We've been working on impulse control. We started her on a prong collar last week to get her pulling under control, and we'll be moving to ECollar in the next few weeks once we have that down.
Excelente.
Anyway, she's a Velcro dog. If
Also
a door
not a good
opens,
behavior.
Yeah. She also, if a door opens, she needs to investigate it. She's
Not a good
only
behavior.
6 months. Wow. She's whiny and vocal.
Not a good behavior.
Okay. But the reason I'm writing it is this. She's a glutton for domination.
I don't know what that means.
Ooh, it sounds like something Jeff Gelman would know.
We need a lifeline. Jeffrey, what does a glutton for domination mean exactly?
Like, oh!
Wow.
Now that we've established the place situation thoroughly, she started doing a peculiar habit that I'm not sure what to do about. Duration work, she'll whine through until she gives up. Okay, she puts herself on place when
Right.
we're allowing her free reign, and she just hangs out and whines. She looks at me for permission to get up, whines and huffs and puffs. I'm like, girlfriend, I did not put you on that place. Feel free to move about the cabin. I've been releasing her while not
line.
whining because she seems to want me to, but her confusion is confusing me. Do I release her from
Lot of
place
confusion.
and when she puts herself there, or ignore her and keep working on the actual command? I do like it when she naturally hangs there, but she seems confused. She also did it in the kennel. She went to the kennel last night, and then she started looking at her for a release, and then she gave up and calmed down, and she was like, what the heck? Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
And then she hopped out of the kennel to go play with the ball. That's funny.
Okay.
Wow. All right.
So this is a weird one. Like,
it is a weird
honestly,
one.
I've never seen that before.
It just sounds like puppy silly
Weirdness.
kind of
Yeah.
weirdness.
Yeah. And it's easy, guys. It's easy to kind of like. It's with a young dog. It's easy to like take everything like super serious
Yeah, be
and
like,
like,
oh, what are
this
they
is what we're gonna
doing?
have
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
next
yeah.
20 years or 15 years.
Nope.
But there's a high likelihood that this is just a phase and something will pass. But I wanted to clarify a couple things. One was that there was a lot of talk about her being like a really great dog, but then there's a lot of like little things that aren't so great.
Not great
Velcro dog, like following. You want to set up for separation anxiety and a needy, insecure dog. That's how you create
Yep.
it. What else?
Like going to the door and investigating.
Going to the door,
everything. It's
like investigating.
Right.
Who hired her as the investigator of the
need to
house, right?
investigate, right.
No, that's not her job. Now, if she's just following you and you guys have an easy breezy thing, that's not such a big deal. But if she's like, if you don't want her to go to the door and she's going to the door to investigate, that's not cool.
No.
So just there's some little things going on here. So here's what I said. And here's what I will say. I'd continue to release her, right? If she's going to place, I'd try and create a little more clarity, right? Create a little more clarity with her about like releasing her. And when you do, make it something that's a little more contrasty, right? So she's in place, and then whatever your word is, break, and then like play with her and make it like kind of something fun and da-da-da-da, right? So there's a couple components to this. So I want to create a release that's got contrast and that's fun. And then also when she's in place and whining, I want you to correct her because we don't allow whining. Right, even if she put her, I don't care. You put yourself like
whining in general is not okay.
I was gonna try and come up with something fancy like a lion tamer's like stool, and she's like up here like that. I don't care. Don't whine up there. If you want to get up there, that's great, but don't whine. So I would be looking to create more contrast about the release command, so she's got more clarity about it. She might be a little confused. She might feel like, cool, I go over here and then I don't feel like I can leave. But the cool thing is, over time, your dog will just gain more and more clarity about what the command means. There just might be a shade of confusion. So create nice clarity, create nice contrast, make sure the dog knows that we're released, cool, fun, party time. Like, it means motion from you. You got to get the dog rolling, throw a ball, something like that. And then you got to correct for the whining stuff, anything like that that's like a niggling kind of uncomfortable negative behavior. Now, the thing is, when you get the ECollar going on in the program, which I think you said you're adding soon, it'll make all of this stuff much easier. And it'll probably create a lot more clarity with your dog about like how the commands all work. And then also like what we don't want, because if you have to correct in place and you're doing it with leash and prong or nose or anything like that, you're only going to get so far. Now you do it with the ECollar and you're going to get the dog to get into a space where they're really going to start to let go of that.
In 6 months, it's time. She's ready.
And to be honest, like what you kind of mentioned early on is that like a lot of this stuff might just like, with just a little bit of these tweaks, might just fade away. Like, don't get too wrapped up at a 6 month point with a dog. Oh, damn, that's too slow. A 6 month point with a dog. Just don't get wrapped up too far with it. Take a look at it. Have some fun with it. It's not a big deal. She's not like going for anybody's jugular. This is an easy kind of thing. Create some contrast, make it fun, and then correct for whining. And that would be my best suggestion. It's a weird question. I haven't had it before. So that's why I think we both think it'll kind of go away with age.
Yeah, that kind of weird, like, oh, am I doing it right or am I doing it wrong? I would just make sure you're really tightening up on everything. Because you've got a little like, you just sounds.
Please add that, because I kind of dove into a different aspect of it.
That question, you know, the main question he really covered, but just the other stuff you were kind of mentioning, like as an aside, like she sounds like a little strong-willed. She's probably really fun. She's probably really
She's
fun,
a glutton for
cool.
dominance.
You still have to ask Jeff.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
But like, she sounds fun, but I would definitely, because fun can turn into really like snotty and pushy. So let's really try to curb some of that, like, oh, I like, you know, let me see what's at the door. Oh, I'm going to get off
She should be in place,
whining,
right? There should be no door investigations being conducted. She should be in place and chilling out. Even with leash and prong, like, the front door's none of your business. Teach your dog now so it's easy. Don't wait till it's harder.
It's not about place command. It's about her listening to you. Remember that. All these behaviors, guys, we can't stress that enough. It's not about the behaviors.
They're bridges to better state of mind, better behavior.
Yeah, they're awesome, and they're icing on the cake that they actually work.
Icing on the cake. I wish I would have got you a cake.
There's still pumpkin cookie.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll grab that.
It'd be my second one.
Oh. So, anyway, thanks so much.
Yeah, sorry. We digress. Did we have some amazing, like...
Did you know I didn't really eat yesterday?
Just you saved yourself up?
No, I didn't eat yesterday because I destroyed myself eating everything on my plate that night.
Oh, you didn't eat?
Yesterday, because we went 2 nights ago.
Oh, right.
Guys,
so I can't remember.
I ate.
But you kind of like... You kind of starved yourself.
Yeah.
No, but you kind of starved yourself for Bollywood, right?
I starved myself the day because I hadn't had Bollywood in so long. I was like, so I had like an apple, which right now is like not a lot. I had like an apple and like some crackers and stuff, and I was like just chilling. And then
we had a huge meeting, guys, like kind of almost our annual like big plan, even though we're not at the end of the year yet, but like our big, like we moved some people wait till the end of the year. We're already busting moves
We want the
early.
end of the year to be kicking
Yeah,
ass.
we already want to be kicking.
Yeah.
So we made a plan to, it's an excuse to go to Bollywood. We saw CC.
Saw CC. Oh,
Yeah,
missed
it was
him.
great. Good to
So
see him.
good.
And then we just had like one of the best batches. Like everything was stellar.
Everything was good. And the big mistake that I made was not only starving myself during the day, not starving myself, but also not drinking a lot of water.
Yeah.
So I was like, don't get me wrong, I'm not blaming it on the water because plenty of food was eaten, but I ate like so much, but I also had like 10 glasses of water and like a Perrier.
Fizzy water. Oof, that's tough.
so-
Fizzy water, just like.
I was literally like, I can't walk. Like my stomach is like, and then I just peed every hour that night.
Guys, sometimes you need extra information to like sew everything up here. So
Anyway, our meeting was great.
every hour.
The food was great. No, really. Like
Yeah.
every hour.
That's great. That's great.
Okay.
But anybody in the LA area, God, we just recommend so highly.
Oh my
Go to
gosh,
Bollywood.
so
Tell them, literally, tell them Sean and Laura sent you.
Yeah.
And those
You'll get
guys,
amazing
they're
service.
the sweetest,
just-
sweetest guys. Every single one of them, like, and they're all characters.
Yeah.
They're all funny in their own little, like, special way. And they'll take fantastic care of you. Don't be babies. Order
they're
it.
like family.
Order
They're-
it spicy or extra spicy.
have to. I
Go
have to.
go big, and
want
you
it
won't be
right
sorry. I know, me too.
So question number 4 comes from Julianne. She
Yeah.
says, hi guys, I'm new to ECollar and prong training and I love it.
Yeah.
I've watched so
Nice.
many of your videos and Q&A Saturdays to teach myself. Awesome, Julianne. You're the bomb. Thanks so much for making it available. I fostered Peaches, a pit terrier mix,
Peaches.
and her 6 puppies this past May and then adopted the mama. Oh, so cute. I just love puppies. She has... I do. I just love them. And then I just want to give them away.
Right.
Okay. Once they start getting like dogs, I'm like, all right, here we go. Okay. She has leash reactivity, lunging, barking, and biting if she gets the opportunity.
Oh.
Ooh, but with the new tools in place and me getting better every day with my timing, she's improving.
Good.
She does play nice with dogs after she's been slowly introduced to them. So the question is, we want to visit my in-laws for a week, but they have Indy, a golden retriever, who has separation anxiety and thinks he runs the place.
That's that golden I didn't want. I told you guys.
How would you approach the situation, or would you make alternate plans for the dog? Did you want to do both? I guess. Just kind of a small one. So
Yeah,
second
it's super
question,
easy, yeah.
I find myself looking at the dog a lot when teaching ECollar heel. Any tips for not doing this? She'll also stay in heel, but then I look at her shadow and her ears are perked, and then when I look at her, she has that hunting look. Okay, thanks for everything you do. Okay, cool, Julianne. These are great questions.
Yeah.
So the first one, I'm gonna get the second one. I'm gonna attack the second question, which is the ECollar heel.
Attack.
Couple things you need to just check out is your leash length. Make sure your leash isn't too long, because if it's too long, you're not going to feel the dog pulling either ahead or feeling its neck move or anything like that, looking at anything. If you don't want it tight either. You want it just nice and relaxed. Your arm is just walking next to you. You got like your arm just
Yeah, I'm just walking next
Just-
to you. It's a well-trained arm.
just relaxed next to you, not up like this to try to make the leash shorter. I'm just trying to think. And then you want the leash like basically just hanging. Maybe we can
Was it the Munsters that had? No, it was.
The thing,
Yeah.
the little hand.
You remember
Yeah.
this, guys?
Adam's
This is a
Family.
breakthrough.
Adam's Family.
Breakthrough.
I
Yeah,
tried out for Adam's Family.
Did you?
The
The
remake.
new.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why
yeah,
you know
yeah.
about it. Okay.
Wednesday.
Okay, but did they have the hand in that one too?
Yeah, thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird. Ooh.
He could hold. He could hold the leash.
He's just walking next to you.
Yeah.
So make sure your leash length is good. My guess is if
Real
you're
quick,
having a-
by the way, and that flies in the face of everything that most dog trainers will tell you. They're going to tell you to like leave a
Loose,
long
loose,
J and da 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 da.
loose,
Guys,
loose,
we work with reactive dogs all the freaking time. Keep the leash short but not tight, and you will have such a better walk with your dog. Everybody's like, that's cheating. That's not making the dog make his own. BS bullshit.
Guys.
It's all, you can block that out too. It's all a bunch of monkey business crap people are putting. It's old school
If it
tradition.
works for you, it's awesome. If it's not working for you, it's not awesome, okay? Right?
That's another way to put
If it works, great, keep doing it. But if it's not working, don't listen to people telling you that you're wrong if you try something else. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing. I would also say that you're probably not correcting high enough. You're probably not getting heard early enough, and it's not high enough if you keep having to go back. One thing we always
She's also saying real quick, I just want to make sure you get it, that she's having to look a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but one thing that I want to make sure we're really clear about is if you're going out and you're doing like an initial, like say first 2-3 sessions,
look the whole time.
you're going to be looking a lot.
Absolutely.
And why is that?
Because you're trying to get the dog right in line with you. You're new to everything,
But you're also trying to like articulate that position
it's
really
very
clearly.
clear. But if you're at this point where you've been doing this for a while and she's still like getting reactive and still like staring and intense, my guess is you're probably looking as opposed to just correcting. So, and I'm not saying just correct willy-nilly,
good point.
but look down, and she needs to be corrected. If she's being nagged, if the level is too low, or you're going, will she or won't she? She's gonna keep doing it. Anytime I get clients that say like, I keep having to correct, I'm like, you need to go up sooner, and you need to be not shy with that. You need to be not shy with that correction. So try that.
It's this most sticky point for every owner.
Yeah, that's a hard
Everybody's afraid to go up higher on the collar. They're afraid it's going to hurt the dog. And so what ends up happening is the dog stays stuck in that cycle of that behavior.
Yeah.
So guys, like what Laura said is right on the money. It's gold. We always talk about too low, too slow.
Yeah.
That's the typical thing with reactivity stuff. People are at too low of a level and they're too slow to react. And if you can switch both of those dynamics, you'll typically wipe out dog reactivity like that.
And remember your little Pitty, who was, you're fostering with her pups and all that stuff. She might have had bad stuff go on in the past with dogs, so she doesn't trust dogs, so she's getting nervous. What we're trying to do is stop her from being nervous, and that isn't by coaxing her or sitting her on a couch and asking her how her childhood was. That's by correcting her and telling her, knock it off. You being nervous is not acceptable. And she goes, oh, cool. And she just relaxes.
And that, real quick, just to jump on that, is something a lot of people have a hard time understanding, is that ECollar corrections actually relax a dog.
Gosh.
You will see that.
We were just talking to that chick on Skype about this, right?
Yeah, so basically a dog goes from like this, correction, relax, right? It literally will relax a dog and put him into a different state.
If you've taught it right.
Yeah, and if your levels are right and all that good stuff.
And then my answer to question 1.
Oh, stop. I'm sorry. I know I keep interrupting, but I want to just reiterate real quickly that it is okay if you're looking a lot in the initial training. The first few days, you should be looking down and making sure that you're really articulating that position.
She's just been doing this for a while.
But if you've been doing it for a while, then obviously, like Laura said, you're probably nagging the dog, and the dog is just like like blowing you off and doing your thing. Anybody else that's doing like ECollar heel and you're watching a lot, it's a normal thing to do. I would literally watch a dog like this as I'm teaching ECollar heel because I'm trying to articulate the position.
Yeah. Julianne, with your first question, which I'm going to answer second, I would say make alternative plans for your dog. And this isn't to just make you go find some place to board your dog, but either that or when you bring the dog, you just put her in the crate a lot and have her have yard time without the pushy golden retriever. The reason I say this is because you don't want to be on dog duty the whole week that you're visiting your in-laws, unless you do, unless you want this to be like, okay, this is my time to like shine.
Unless you don't like the in-laws and you want to just hang with the dogs.
I just want to be outside. But honestly, that's an undertaking to like deal with a dog who runs the house, is going to be a bad influence on your dog, is probably pushy in a ton of other ways that you're not even seeing that your dog's going to see, and she's clearly sensitive already. So if she's sensitive, if she needs a time to warm up to a dog, you're going to spend your whole time in dog world. And I would just say, get her a sitter or get her boarding where there's some structure there.
Or crate her up.
Crate her like pretty much the whole time except for when you can have her out and just like alone. Because the other thing is with family gets involved, they're like, oh, don't worry about it, just let them play. And you're seeing stuff and then it's like in-laws and you don't want to get weird and talk to them.
And family energy gets all kind of wacky and the dog starts to get wacky. So, and you said that this golden was separation anxiety?
Separation anxiety.
Separation.
Yeah.
So like, anxious dogs like that are prime targets. Like, just to be crystal clear, a lot of dogs come in and they see separation anxiety, anxious, nervous, insecure dogs. targets for fights because it's
Absolutely.
an uncomfortable energy to be around. So don't you put yourself in that
Yeah.
position. Crate your dog up, set your dog up for success, and set that golden up to not get into trouble.
Absolutely.
So hope that helps.
Okay, cool guys. Thanks.
They're tough.
Tough?
Yeah, last week's questions just felt like they were like universal.
Well, we were just excited
like,
about last
bam.
week.
And
We're
I
still
had
excited.
whipped cream.
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
I wish I could just eat that all the time. I threw the other brand new one away.
Did you?
Yeah, because
The girls didn't want it? You didn't
they
care.
probably did, but like, sorry, someone's got to lay down the law here. You leave a brand new thing of Ready Whip in the fridge,
in the middle
right?
of the night.
3 in the morning. It's like,
Where is that?
you know what
I
happens
haven't
with
done
that.
that in so long. I remember I used to do that. You know how you used to do things?
Yes. You know how much trouble I got into so I didn't have enough class to do the Ready Whip. What I would do is, my folks were fans of Cool Whip. You know the difference, right?
Oh yeah.
Cool Whip's actually better.
Well, Cool Whip is literally corn syrup.
Is it? Well,
There's
okay.
like no whip about it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
but it tastes
it
damn
tastes
good.
fantastic.
So good.
And what I would do is I would open the lid.
No, you wouldn't lick it.
And I would lick the
No.
lid, and then I would lick the other part of it, and then I would try and take my fingers and kind of blend it. And
to cover it up.
like my mom wouldn't know. And then, because I'm a freaking scavenger,
you're
I'd go over to the bread box, open it up. She'd have a thing of semi-sweet Toll House chocolate chips, and I'd take a pair of scissors and I'd cut a small thing in the corner, and I would just trickle out little bits. They were my favorite thing, little bits of chocolate chips. And then this would go over like 3 weeks. My mom would go to make effing cookies, and she would find like 25 chocolate
Oh
chips
my
in the bag,
gosh, she was
and
so
she'd
mad.
literally
She
want to
was so
like
mad.
not like the store, like we didn't live in covered wagons, so she could get to the store, but
Just the principle.
the principle was, you son of a bitch, you ate all the chocolate chips secretly, and now I'm ready to bake and I don't have any. But boy, was that great to have my own like private supply of chocolate chips. Anyway,
I've just gone to the store and just purchased some,
I
right?
didn't have any money. I was a kid.
Just grab little quarters.
No,
They come.
no, I
There were no
lived.
quarters.
I lived like I might as well have been like in Siberia. I had a tough one.
Okay.
Tough childhood, guys.
Question number 5.
Made me who I am today.
Comes from Tiffany. Tiffany says, "Hi there. I've been working with my dog for about a year now with a prong and ECollar, and I've
Yeah.
seen a lot of improvement."
Great.
Oh wow. I was like, did I just read this? No, you're just all badasses. Okay. We're still not perfect, but we're getting there. My dog knows his commands such as sit down, place, heel, wait, no, and well, he always pushes the boundaries. He heels, but it's a constant reminder to stay and heel. He places, but gets up occasionally, and he'll respond to no sometimes, like if a small dog is walking by, but not at other times, such as when a big dog is walking by. He almost often ignores my no and lunges. The little things like place are always corrected, but when he lunges at a big dog, it's hard to correct as he weighs 80 pounds, which is more than half my weight.
Good grief.
He reminds me of an obstinate child who's always putting his toe over the line to see what will happen. How do I clean this behavior up? I feel like we're on the verge of being a very well-behaved dog, but I've hit a wall. Thank you so much.
The old wall.
The old wall hit.
Okay, Tiffany. So this is like not that different. We've got some kind of barky
Bad dog
malarkey.
in there.
I think
Yep.
we've got a beagle here who has got like some serious pipes.
Yeah.
Serious pipes.
I'll go in there. You go.
No. I'm sure one of the girls is on
I'm just
him.
gonna
You gonna regulate?
smack the crate while you go.
Okay, Laura Morgan is on the case. All right, guys, it's just us. Now we can talk all about her. Okay, guys. So Tiffany, right? So we've got. Right? Serious business. So we've got an e-collar trained dog, and you're getting continued pushing of boundaries, and your dog is constantly kind of challenging you, and with a lot of behaviors that you've already trained, and that your dog, it sounds like your dog should know, but is not giving you its best stuff, right? Where does that come from? That always comes from, well, either you've moved too quick, which I highly doubt, but either you've moved too quick through the process of training and your dog doesn't fully understand things. Like I said, that's usually not the case. Or consequences have not been significant enough to cause your dog to really consider, care, and prioritize what you're looking for as far as remaining on place, remaining in a sit, remaining in a down, staying in a heel, not reacting to other dogs, things like that. So typically what happens in these cases when we see people show up with this kind of stuff is kind of like we were talking about with Julianne in question number 4, is that we got flies going on here. We're trying to film, is that really he's going to really try and hijack our broadcast. If I was only like Miyagi, I could just wait till I knock the camera down and it'll kill me. So basically what typically happens with that is consequences that are underwhelming for the dog. They're not impressive, they're not significant, and what ends up happening is you're nagging anytime, right? So when we're working dogs through board and trains here and we fairly taught them place command, or we fairly taught them sit or down, or we fairly taught them e-collar heel and reactivity stuff, don't do this, don't do that, and if we consistently see the dog pushing against it, it's a very clear indicator that if we've fairly trained it, that the consequences haven't been significant enough for the dog to prioritize what you're looking for. Let's keep this stuff super clear, guys. Don't make dog training something overtly complex. Yes, there's an art form to it. Yes, you can, do it better and do it worse. There's more barky dogs. Laura Morgan's on the case. Yes, you can do better and you can do worse, and you can be you can have high skill sets and you can have moderate skill sets. But really, what's coming down to what it comes down to is that consequences. I know it sounds like a broken record, but consequences, if they're not significant, if they're not impressive, if they're not. That's what's going on. I'm hearing it come through our camera. So I'm hearing stereo dog. Sorry guys. So when you're seeing this stuff over and over again, I digress. Let me go back to what I was saying about our board and trains. When dogs are working through this program with us, there's too much action going on, and we're starting to work through place, and the dog continues to step off of place. We don't just stay at the same level, and we don't just guide the dog back. At some point when the dog understands the behavior, your job as the dog's trainer or the dog's owner is to start to hold the dog accountable, to be fair to the dog. If you don't do that, you're leaving the dog stuck, and that's a concept I need everybody to understand, along with this fly that's dive bombing us, right? So get out of here. So make sure that if you're on the walk, that when you correct for any breaking of heel, that you're using levels that your dog cares about enough to where you don't have to say it 100 times. Make sure that if your dog is getting I think she's talking about getting pulley and 80-pound dog being reactive on, yep. Right? Mm-hmm. So dog is on hopefully prong and e-collar. The split second, where we just talked about too low, too slow, the split second that this big monster gets the very tip of the iceberg of being worked up, that's when you correct. But don't correct teeny low. Already be expecting that you need to be up higher so you can beat the dog to the emotional punch, right? So if your dog's here, hopefully you guys can see this, your dog's here and he's going to see a dog, he's going to go from here to here like that, right? Your job is to see the dog at the same time, already roll and be ready for when your dog starts to move, no, and correct like that, cap it, and bring the dog back down. What most owners, and you probably see me do this demonstration 1,000 times, is your dog sees the other dog, starts lifting up, you start correcting, this is you, correcting under here, and you lift the dog up until you have a full explosion. The proper way to do this is your dog's here, you see the other dog, your dog sees the other dog, you roll up, you get up here, correct, your dog starts to move up, you cap it and you bring the dog back down. It's challenging. People don't want to hurt their dogs. People don't trust their own e-collar work. They're afraid they're going to go too high. They're afraid they're going to damage the dog. They're afraid they're going to ruin the relationship. They're afraid they're going to shock the dog into submission. None of that stuff is going to happen because you've already taught the dog and conditioned the dog how the collar works, how the training works. It's It's simple, it's straightforward, your dog will understand it. Higher levels, once the dog's been conditioned to it, does not create fallout, does not create negative consequences, does not create, and I mean negative consequences as far as like your dog being freaked out or worried, but it does create negative consequences as far as like, don't do that anymore, right? So most likely what you're getting, Tiffany, is you're getting in place with your interior work and with your exterior work, you're getting a dog that is not taking you serious because you're not using levels that are worthy of being taken serious, right? So a dog keeps stepping off a place here, I'm gonna dial up and keep correcting until the dog goes, that one counts, that one matters, and steps back. And when you see that, you go, cool, now we're in a zone where we're having a conversation that's meaningful.
Yep.
And the conversation I'm having with you, saying that you need to be back here, the dog goes, I get it, and I'll actually do my best work. If you don't, if you use levels too low, you will do the work. Your dog will give you this much work and you'll give him this much work. We don't want that. We want the opposite. We want the dog to give this much work and we want you to give this much work as far as like actually having to like manage and handle the dog. I don't want you guys to manage your dogs. The trick is I want you guys to train your dogs, be fair about it, move slow through the process, and then hold your dogs freaking accountable so they can do their best work and show you the awesome dog they can be. You won't know. You won't know what kind of dog, you won't know the kind of dog, I'm gonna get this guy, you won't know the kind of dog you have until you hold your dog accountable. It's as simple as that. You might have a fantastic dog that can actually walk by other dogs and do great with reactivity, but you'll never know until you hold them accountable. You'll never know how great they can stay in place. You'll never know how calm they can be until you hold them accountable. Your whole goal is to use training to override those impulses, get the dog into a space where they listen to you, they don't listen to those impulses, and they learn how to relax and chill out. They get guidance from you. You run the house, you run the show. I've already said it 3 times in this show, but I'm telling you that dynamic of we run the house is a very, very important component of relationship being in the right space beyond just tools, right? I hope I'm not just like rambling on and on. I hope this makes sense, but it's like, it's a cumulative approach. It's tools, it's training, it's relationship, it's mindset, it's intent, it's attitude, it's this is my house, this is how it's going to be, there's no monkeying around. And when that intent meets the right tools, training, and approach, pretty amazing stuff happens. I think I've pontificated enough on that one, but I hope it makes some sense. I'm gonna nail that fly.
Oh, me too.
I'm gonna nail it. It's such an it's just so like disrespectful.
It is. He's just like, meow.
Yeah, like and
Meow.
and
Meow.
and I'm obviously swatting at him, so he knows like his life's in danger, and he's like, yeah, come and get me.
He's like the Manny of flies.
Right? He's like,
just like,
right? Anyways, guys, so we talked about everything, I think, ad nauseum. And so episode 101 is in the bag. Nice work.
I got my beautiful gift.
Oh, I'm glad you like it.
Right on camera.
I'm glad you like it.
Special.
I'm glad you like it.
I just love it.
That's great. Awesome.
Special.
Awesome. Great. So guys, we will see you next week. Keep the questions coming. You'll see Cambry here. And so we'll have another member of the team will be working. New Orleans is building. It won't be long until we have a facility down there that is cracking and offering the NOLA peeps like the best stuff in town. We'll be down there soon. I'm moving on up to the east side. I know she doesn't know what that means, but anyways.
To the deluxe apartment in the sky.
And the name of the show?
All in the Family.
This is maybe my best moment ever out of all the Q&As, right? Maybe my best moment. And right now, as you guys are watching this, even though we're taping it, there's laughter everywhere, and I love it. I love it. Anyways, we're gonna leave it at that, but I am moving up to a deluxe apartment in the sky.
Is that wrong?
Me and Archie Bunker. Archie's gonna help me like move stuff along.
Is that wrong?
And
I don't
maybe.
even know if All in the Family is a show.
And just I love the references. So I'll be moving, and hopefully you guys will see some cool clips of the new spot because it is beautiful.
So jealous.
View of the river.
So gorgeous.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, we love you so much. Thanks for sticking with us. All the numbers are jumping up. We
crazy.
just keep building,
Yep.
and we love you and can't say how much we appreciate you. And thanks for hanging out on the 100th episode and having so much fun with us.
Thanks for riding along with us. And we're just gonna make these next 100 the best they possibly can be. We're just gonna try to keep.
We got some cool ideas actually coming in that we're gonna start adding some training moments and things like that. So it's, of course, with us, it's always gonna get better. We're never gonna leave it static and stale for you. It's always gonna get better.
We're already sick of it.
It's already moving. All right, lady.
Thanks, guys.
Boom. See you guys.
See you soon. Bye.